Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. H here. We're going to try something, see if this works well or not. So give me feedback as we go here in class or with an email if this is something that's helpful. I'm going to try to do quiz previews and things like this ahead, where if we don't get to something in class or if you have a question later, you can go back and look at this as well as talking to me and things like that. So we'll see how this goes. All right, first things first, warned on the first quiz. Here it comes again. Not all question types from the quiz are here on the preview. What's that mean? That means I can go back to stuff on quiz 1. It's not just strictly what's on this sheet, even though this is most of it. And you'll find that most of the time too. This is going to be like 1.5 through 1.7 stuff. So, all right, enough gibbering, here we go. Solve the inequality, graph the solution, write the solution in interval notation. All right, not absolute value like these are. This one, literally, we're just going to solve it. So let's see, I'll add my x's over here. Subtract 2 back over. Nice thing about me doing this on video is if I get going too quick, you can always pause me or rewind me. So here, okay, solve the inequality. Whoop. Arrow pointing at x is less than. Less than goes left. Not or equal to, so we have a parenthesis. There's my graph. My graph is good. My interval goes left to right, least to greatest. Negative infinity, and yes, you have to have the negative because it's going left to right. Here we go. Okay, that's it on that. Solve by showing all work. Give both solutions. Nice, even giving you a hint here. If your absolute value is isolated, you are ready to go into 2 parts already. The only difference being my second answer is negative. Subtract 3. Don't get careless. That's not solved for. We've got to divide by -1 still. Subtract my 3. Divide by -1 still. Don't want to lose those half points on quizzes because they add up in a hurry. Here, warning, warning, warning. Isolate your absolute value first. Do not split this right away or you guaranteed are going to miss half of it. I'm just telling you. So get that 8 out of here. Now we can split it in 2. Again, just like we did before, make sure that answer, we're changing the sign. Otherwise, just a regular old 2-step equation. So nothing bad there. Nothing bad there. Okay. Good deal. We're going along good. Solve, graph, interval notation. Okay, so now we get to combine the best of both worlds here with the first 2 questions. Make sure we're isolated. We're good. Now, this is where I can help myself out. I can just go ahead and make 2 inequalities here if I want to. But if I recognize that the absolute value is less than and that it's an and, now I know what my graph should look like. And I know what my interval should look like. So you can decide at this point. Here's going to be an infamous Hardy 2 ways of doing it. Typically our ands, we're going to rewrite this. We're going to add another arrow and we're just going to make it negative and we can solve it. Your other option, hence the squiggle, is you can make 2 separate inequalities. That's fine. If you do 2 separate ones, we flip the arrow. We change the sign. You're going to get the same answer either way. And I'm about to show you, whichever you're more comfortable with. If we're going this route, we minus the 3 to all 3 sides. We're good there. If we do it over here, subtract my 3 over. So check this out. X is less than 4. Yep. X is greater than -10. X is greater than -10. Arrows leading X. These are the same thing. Either one perfectly acceptable. Get to my graphing. I know what this should look like. It's an and, it should be coming in. So if I've got it this route, I notice right away it's parentheses on both. I'll just color. If I did it this way, x is less than 4, going to the left. X is greater than -10, going to the right. Combine in the middle, we're good. Okay? Just make sure I can tell that middle part's set. And then our interval is left, same symbol, to right, same symbol. So you have choices. With our OR statement, how do I know that? Because the absolute value is greater than. The or equal to will come in later here. So this one, we're going to get 2 inequalities. First one we leave alone. Second one, notice I'm changing nothing inside the absolute value. Flip the arrow, change the sign. So let's see here. Make sure I don't do anything silly. Ooh. Divide both sides by a negative. Gotta flip that arrow. And positive 3/2. Negative divided by negative. Same thing rocking over here. Ugh. Oh, 18/4 is 9/2 again. I'll kind of jot the decimals down here, and in case you go that route, even though I'm sticking to fractions. ORs go out. X is less than or equal to positive 3/2. X is greater than or equal to 9/2. Got what I was looking for there. And so this is the one with the really big interval. So left to right. There's another piece. Union, got to have the U. Left to right. And we're set. Explain what the first step in solving this inequality would be. It's not breaking it into 2 inequalities. Isolate x plus 7, but I want a little more. That'll get you half. How do I isolate x plus 7? How do I undo this divide by 4? By multiplying both sides by 4. Not just multiplying by 4, because if you put that, I'm going to ding you for like a half, and I'm going to say, well, so it's just this side? You're going to be like, well, no. Explain like I'm a 5-year-old, okay? Be very specific. State domain and range and determine whether it's a function. Here, notice there are no arrows on the end, so I'm going to put points just to kind of remind myself of that. My domain, my x values from left to right. X values, -5 to 7. It's a line, so it's all the values in between as well. Get our symbols right, okay? That's not set notation. That'd be if that was individual dots. Range, y values, bottom to top. Okay, here's my bottom, right there. Here's my top. Y values, bottom to top. Well, Hardy, what if I put 6, -2? Nope. Bottom to top. Okay. Is it a function? There's Post-its. Do we pass the vertical line test? Do we ever see more than 1 point on the graph at any one time? We do not, so that's a yes. Vertical line test. Horizontal, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. We're good there too. Yes. Passes the horizontal line test. Not bad. Not bad stuff, I'm saying. Oh dear, here come the fractions again. Okay. Here, your best case scenario if you start thinking about 2s and 3s and 4s and 6s, is that your LCD is going to be 12, your LCM in this case. If you don't remember that, you do have the option of multiplying all these together. That's going to equal 144. It'll work, your numbers are just going to be big. So once we do that, either with 12 or 144, we're going to distribute that 12 to all of our numerators. So this basically is going to become multiply by the top, divide by the bottom. 12 times 3 is 36, divided by 4 is 9. 12 times negative 2 is negative 24, divided by 3 is negative 8. 12 times 5 is 60, divided by 2 is 30. 12 times 5 is 60, divided by 6 is 10. If you ever get into a fraction or something that you're not comfortable with, literally just put the fraction in parentheses and multiply. I can't do the variables, but the other stuff I can. And now we're at a two-step equation. Oh, we might have, depends on how quickly you go with stuff. Subtract my 9x over here. Subtract my 30 back. Got me an answer. Simple stuff. Here, isolate the fraction. Well, could I just multiply everything by negative 3 first? You could, but that's going to cause some confusion, I think. So I'd add the 8 first. Now what? Now get rid of the fraction. By multiplying both sides of an inequality by a negative. Uh-oh. Remember to flip. Subtract my 7 over. Divide by 3. I'm not dividing by negative 3. Don't you dare flip again. Don't do it. We're not doing interval notation. We're not doing graphing. We're just solving. Oh, and your Achilles heel from quiz 1. Oh, it's back. Solve for x. Okay, first thing you cannot do. You cannot do. Don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Those cannot cancel. Why not? They're both x. X is bonded to 3y. You can see the bond right there. They are strong. That's like that bond is not going to break. Like some weak little multiplication break. Like they are going steady. This is getting serious, people. The only way you can break this up is with the exact same quantity, and we don't have it. So don't cancel it. Okay, now that that public service announcement is done, I need that x out of the denominator, though. So we're going to do one of these. X just cancels x. Do not distribute it. And we still have a slight problem. Okay, we got to get our x's together. So we'll subtract this 1 to the other side. So far, so good. We'll divide by 3. 7x over 3, 7/3 out. Oh my gosh. Now there is a bonehead of all time. I always am thinking I need to solve for y. Did I pay attention? It says solve for x. No. So, not that. Solve for x, Hardy. Solve for x. X equals 3y over 7, or 3/7 y, now that I learned how to read. See, this can be amusing sometimes, watching the silly stuff Hardy does to himself. Now this time, let's a little crazier. Solve for p. You're like, okay, we'll get... So, does me moving to this over here help? Yes, here's why. If I subtract that 2pr over, stay with me. This is similar to a question we chatted a lot about from quiz 1. I need to solve for p. P can't be part of the answer. Like here, I can't just divide both sides by 4 and say I'm good. So here, these both have a p. I can take the p out. Okay, they have that in common. If I really wanted to take it to another step, I'm not going to yet. I'll show you in a minute with that. So if I just took out the p, okay, I got 4 here. Take out the p. I got negative 2r there. Excuse me. But what did I get out of that? There's only one p left now. Okay? If they have something in common, take it out. Some of you may have noticed there's more in common than just the P, but we'll chat about that here in a second. Okay, P is alone. You get to here. If you get to here, you made it like 95% of the way. Good job, pat on the back, here we go. But is there anything all three of these terms have in common that I could still divide out? The answer in this case is yes. They're all divisible by 2. All three. It'd have to be all three to make this happen. So this is the best answer. This is awfully good. Probably just going to get Hardy to make a little comment there. Hey, watch for reducing. But the idea here is, if you, over here we could combine the x's. We didn't have to play the factoring game. Here we couldn't because of the r. We have to watch for that. And I have a feeling we'll be chatting about that in class anyway. Last one. Even though, again, the quiz could have a few more things on there, just saying. Movie Flix charges a monthly fee of $7.95 plus 50 cents per movie download. Write an equation that describes the relation between downloads, which are 50 cents each. I'm struggling today. Okay. And cost in dollars for 1 month of service. You're like, well, wait a minute. So does C go as $7.95? No, because it's at 50 cents a download plus the monthly fee that equals the cost. Okay. Again, if you need to, write things out. Downloads plus fee equals cost. That's what it is in words, and now I'm just plugging things back in. That's what we're looking for. Again, I hope this has been helpful. Not as good as you practicing and checking answers and asking questions, but it's a start. So we'll get this set, and hopefully it does you some good.